What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky. Here in this channel, I talk a lot about different ways to make money online. Primarily, we're talking about dropshipping on different marketplaces like eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Then if you have any questions, make sure to come to one of my Q&As. I do them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Come ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer them for you. All right. Before we get into the questions, I wanted to let you all know, remind you all, well, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to the announcements in a minute. Let me jump into the questions and we can get right into the questions here, and then we'll do the announcement in just a moment. All right. Haley says, are scams a thing on Facebook Marketplace or eBay? How can you avoid them completely? Yeah, so like I said, we do a lot of selling on marketplaces like eBay, like Facebook Marketplace. And inevitably, you're going to run into people who will be trying to scam you. And these scams come in different varieties. A lot of time it will be they'll get the package and then they'll claim they never got it and they'll expect a refund from you, or other situations where they will pay you off of the platform. Like maybe they'll pay you through PayPal or Venmo or something like that. You ship them the item and then they have a way of getting the money back. So you basically ship them an item for free. Luckily, these scams are very rarely successful anymore. They used to be more successful in the past, but the marketplaces have really put in a lot of protections for both buyers and sellers. You both have protections if you follow the rules. So on all the marketplaces, if you accept the payment through the marketplace and you upload a tracking number, that's a valid tracking number, then you're covered. You've met your requirements. So the buyer claims they never got the item, but your tracking number shows that it's been delivered, then the marketplace should side with you and you should not have to refund the customer or a forced refund by the marketplace. So that is how you kind of protect yourself. Those are the seller protections in place, and they exist on all of the marketplaces. And that kind of prevents people from coming in and scamming you. In the reverse, there's also ways that the marketplaces protect the buyers from you scamming them. So that's why all the marketplaces will hold your funds after you have an order. And they require you to still fulfill the order, get the item shipped out, with the understanding that, hey, if everything goes according to plan, you upload that tracking number, they're going to release the money to you, which they do. So it's protections for both the buyers and the sellers, and that's facilitated all by the marketplace itself. So there will, of course, be people who try to game the system anyway, but as long as you're following the rules, you're not going to run into any problems with it. Haley says, if you don't have a Facebook Marketplace course, can I take the eBay one and there won't be much difference? So I do have two separate courses, one that teaches you how to dropship onto eBay, one that teaches you how to dropship onto Facebook Marketplace, Haley. They are different. They're very different marketplaces and systems for each of them, different strategies that work with them. So it's up to you whether you want to take the gamble of trying to figure out by yourself. But I would recommend if you want to do Facebook, you take the Facebook course. I do have that course, but it's currently closed for enrollment. What you should do, Haley, is down in the description will be a link where you can sign up to get on the wait list for the Facebook course. As soon as you get on that wait list, you're also going to get a free ebook I've put together that explains more about Facebook Marketplace dropshipping and how you can get started with it. And you'll be the first one to know as soon as a spot opens up for my Facebook Marketplace course. So do make sure that you get on that wait list. The link for it is in the description below. All right, so the announcement I want to give you all is that tomorrow I am hosting a free training. It's going to be live here online. It's not going to be on YouTube though, so you have to go to the first link down below and actually register for it. There are a limited number of spots, so make sure you register and you actually show up on time so that you don't miss out on it. Click the first link down below. This is the page where you can click on register now. As you see, it is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's 1 p.m. Mountain time, noon Pacific time. So yeah, completely free. There will be prizes if you're there live. I give away prizes to people who are in there asking questions in the chat. So if you want to win one of those prizes, do make sure you actually register and attend and participate in the chat. We'll be going over how to start a successful, profitable, semi-automated eBay dropshipping business in 2023, the strategies that are working right now that are going to be working next year. Things change with dropshipping, things change with eBay. So this is a really great kind of accumulation of everything that's working, everything that's being successful right now. And I'm going to reveal that to you during that free training tomorrow. So do make sure you register and you're there, and hopefully you win some prizes. All right. Haley says, so Haley came in early and asked a ton of questions, which is great, because if you're here early and you ask your questions, it really increases the chances I'm going to be able to answer your questions. So Haley says, how many hours do you work, or how many hours do you have to work per week? Does it depend on how many orders you get? And is the work you have to do just fulfilling the orders? So when it comes to dropshipping with either eBay or Facebook Marketplace, there are things you're going to have to do, to make sure your business is running. So you have to add items. Well, first you have to do product research, and you have to add the items to your store. You have to fulfill orders. You have to make sure your items are being repriced and restocked if the price or stock changes on your supplier's website. Now, luckily, software can do a lot of that for us. So we have software that helps us speed up product research. We have software that you put the item into the software and it will list the item for you in just 1 second, which saves you a ton of time. And then if the price or stock changes, like if the price changes on Walmart, the price will automatically change on eBay for you. And in Facebook, it's a little bit more manual, but it's still automatically checking those prices for you. So that's a lot of the kind of things you have to do, and a lot of it that can be automated. Now, when it comes to fulfilling orders with certain suppliers, you can actually use software for that as well. So the software we use is AutoDS, and when we're dropshipping to eBay, it can automatically fulfill orders for some suppliers. So that really can save you a ton of time. And anything that can't be automated with software, we can use virtual assistants to do them. So once you get to that point, yes, it's going to take you time to build that up. You have to put in the sweat equity up front. You have to put in the work, and you have to make some short-term sacrifices to do that. But once you put in that work, then you get to a point where you have the software running, you have virtual assistants, and it is a very automated process where you're not spending as much time running the business, and that's done by the software and the virtual assistants. So that's really the goal for most people. That's the goal that I encourage people to have, because when you get to that point, it really becomes a much more passive kind of form of income. So Haley says, I'm 17, I'm just scared it's not going to work for me. Should I take your course? What do you think? Well, a couple of things I want to unpack there for you, Haley. First of all, technically, because you are not yet 18, you can't run this business under your own name. So you need to be 18 to have an eBay store or to accept payments on Facebook Marketplace. So what a lot of people do is they will ask a parent if they can run the business under their account. So the parent will set up the account with their kid, and then the kid will run it. So that's the way I've seen a lot of people in high school actually be able to start drop shipping on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I will say though, being younger, I think actually gives you a huge advantage. You understand computers, you understand technology, you understand the internet, you, believe it or not, have a little bit more time on your hand, less pressure than someone older. I know it doesn't feel that way at 17, but that in retrospect, you're going to realize that that kind of is the truth. So that gives you a lot more headspace to be able to focus in on something like this. And you just have more energy than us old folks. So you can really just kind of laser focus on something that you really want, like being successful with drop shipping. So you really have a great advantage there. So I wouldn't kind of be worried about your age at all. Okay. Haley says, this is a good question because a lot of people kind of misunderstand this. So Haley says, and by the way, guys, I'm not just answering Haley's questions. Haley came in first in the chat, asked a bunch of questions. So I answer them in the order that they come in. And these are great questions. So I'm going to answer as many of them as I can. Haley says, do you just pay for inventory or do you list the item, someone buys it, and you can go and buy the item with their credit card information? Question about that. So the way it works is someone's going to buy the item from you on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. They're going to go on the website, eBay in this case, as an example. And when they go to buy the item, they're going to enter in their credit card information to eBay. eBay is going to charge them. Let's say it's $100. You don't see their credit card information at all. So you don't have access to it at all. What you then do is you go to your supplier, you purchase that item, or maybe the software is doing it for you automatically or a virtual assistant, but you order that item. You use your own credit card to fulfill that order. Your credit card. You enter in your billing address, but for the shipping address, you enter in the eBay buyer's shipping address. So now the supplier, like let's say Walmart, they're going to ship the item directly to your customer, but they're going to charge you for it. Then eBay is going to release the money to you from the sale, minus any fees. You use whatever is needed to pay off the credit card, and you keep the rest as profit. So that's the way that it works. If you don't have a credit card, you can use a debit card. You just need a few $100s in the bank to kind of cover your expenses until the marketplace releases your funds. But yeah, that's the way it works. In eBay's terms and conditions, it says that you can't buy from big suppliers like Walmart and Home Depot and drop ship them on eBay. Heard that you can get banned. Is that true? That's been in eBay's terms of service for a while. For a long time, they did nothing about it. They didn't enforce that rule at all. Then they started to, all they did was, if they caught you doing it, they would lower your listings in the search result. So if someone were to search for that item, your item would show up lower than someone who wasn't dropshipping. They've kind of pulled back on that. They're not doing it as much or as heavy as before. And even when they were doing it, we found that as dropshippers, we were able to pivot so quickly and add so many more items into our store than non-dropshippers that we were easily able to overcome that sort of handicap that was put on us. But we've never seen any evidence that anyone's getting banned specifically for dropshipping. If people are banned on eBay, it's always for another reason, usually a good reason, one like not providing tracking numbers for your orders, having too many defects on your account because you're not responding to cases, basic customer service stuff that you can easily avoid just by staying on top of your store. So that's kind of what we've been seeing. Sweet. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're asking so many questions. Do I have to accept returns? How do you do returns? On eBay, you really do. On Facebook Marketplace, you actually don't have to accept returns. But returns are very easy to do because if a buyer wants to return the item, all we do is go to our supplier, like let's say it's Walmart, and we chat with Walmart and say, hey, we want to return this. And then Walmart will send us a prepaid return label. We give that return label to the buyer on like eBay, and then they'll ship it directly back to Walmart. And that's it. And then Walmart will refund us, we'll refund the buyer. Easy as that. Yeah, I should go ahead and list again. Yeah, it should be fine to list it. Hey, what's up, Bob and Jen? Thanks for coming back. Lorenzo says, I did not know about the 13th month. Is the 13th month mandatory. We are not making a lot of sales or money. Matter of fact, I'm losing money. Does this mean my VA is not working? Okay, so there's a couple of things we got to unpack there. Let's address the first question you had about the 13th month. The 13th month is a concept that's only really around, as far as I know, in the Philippines. And basically what it says is that employers in the Philippines are required by law to pay their employees a 13th month's salary. So every single month, they're going to pay however much they get paid for their salary. Let's say the employee's salary is $1,000 a month. So they get paid $1,000 January, $1,000 February, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In December, they'll get paid the $1,000, but the employer has to also pay the employee another $1,000 for this fictitious 13th month. This has been established by the government there, required. I'm not exactly sure of the origin or the reason for it, but that's the way it is in the Philippines. Now, if you are an employer or you're working with people that work in the Philippines, like we do as dropshippers, like we have virtual assistants from the Philippines, you're not required to pay the 13th month. If you had a good year with business and you can afford to do it, I think it's a great thing to do. I think it's kind of like a bonus, and it kind of shows your appreciation to your virtual assistants. You know, here in the United States, we don't have that 13th month, obviously, but a lot of employers will pay bonuses at the end of the year to employees. So it's kind of like the same thing, right? So I will call it the 13th month when I give my virtual assistants that, but in my mind, it's kind of like a bonus because they've done such a good job for the year and I appreciate their work and I kind of want to share some of the wealth with them. But certainly if in your situation, if you're just getting started and you're not making a lot of money yet, then it might not make sense for you to do that. And if you're not really making that much money, then maybe you did hire a virtual assistant too early. So that's something you might want to kind of consider if you still need that virtual assistant. I see a lot of people who hire virtual assistants a bit too early, where they kind of think that virtual assistants can figure the business out for them. It's your responsibility as the store owner to figure out how to build a profitable store, or to get, to apply what you've learned from myself or other people teaching how to do drop shipping. But it's ultimately on you to build up that store. Then what you can do is hire virtual assistants to then run that store. But you have to be able to tell them what to do. You have to be able to look at what they're doing and say, hey, you know what? That's not right. That's not the way that we do this, because I've tried that before and that doesn't work. I want you to do it this way. This is the way we've been doing it and it's been working. If you just kind of hire them with the expectation that they're going to solve all your problems and be able to build a store for you, that rarely works. You want to be able to build the store yourself with help, with guidance, and then outsource to virtual assistants is the way that I've seen actually works. Cred says, will there be a replay of the eBay training tomorrow? I'm registered now, but won't be able to make it at that time. So yes, Cred, the training I mentioned before, some of you just joined. So the first link down below, you can register for this free live training I'm doing tomorrow, where I'll be covering how you can start drop shipping in 2023. The strategies and tactics that work now. So do make sure that you register. There will be a replay available after, but you can't win any of the prizes unless you're there live. So if you can make it, seriously consider it. Some of the prizes are really valuable and people love them every time I give away some of these prizes. So I would really recommend that you try to make it there live, but if you can't, I understand. That's why there will be a replay available for that. And that's the first link down below to register for that. You do have to register. It's not going to be here on YouTube or something like that. George, what a man. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, Bob says, we have 100 drafts ready to post with AutoDS. The holdup is, Jen. Holdup is Jen. The holdup is I had a question to ask my accountant about getting tax exempt. Fair enough. We would like to know, since we do not have a Facebook buy button, can we just use a business PayPal account instead? You can, Robert, Jen, but you're not going to make as many sales with that because people like the integrated buy button. So maybe look at some of the other, maybe Bob has a Facebook account. You could try that account, see if that one has that buy button unlocked, because that will really increase your sales. People do it the other way with just asking for payment off of Facebook, but it's not as effective, to be honest. TK Squad, what's up? Thanks for coming back. What are the best suppliers to work with? So there are two types of suppliers that you can work with. Broadly speaking, one are retail suppliers and the other are wholesale suppliers. So retail suppliers include any website where you could go on today, even if you've never dropshipped before, and purchase something for yourself. So think of Amazon.com, Walmart.com, HomeDepot.com, Wayfair.com, Costco.com, Target.com. These are all retail suppliers. Now, not all of those are good ones, but that's just a few examples of some. The other category of items are wholesale suppliers. And wholesale suppliers, you can't go on their website and just purchase something as a consumer. You have to contact them beforehand. You have to say, hey, I'm going to take your items and I'm going to resell them myself. They are higher up in the chain of production, right? The item's made by the manufacturer, then it's sent to a supplier. Then from the supplier, it's sent to different retailers like Walmart, like Target, like Home Depot. So if you're buying it from the manufacturer or from a supplier, then you can only usually do that if you are a business yourself, a retailer yourself. So you have to send them the proper documents to kind of prove that you are, or fill out some paperwork that says that you are. So wholesale has a lot of advantages. Usually the items are cheaper. You can get better prices on them. It's allowed 100% by eBay. So if that's what you're worried about, like we talked about before, usually the prices are more stable. They're not going to fluctuate a lot, and the stock levels as well. In general, the competition is also much lower because not a lot of people are doing it. Not a lot of people know how to do it. Not a lot of people are willing to put in the work to figure out how to do it. The disadvantage of wholesale is that it is harder to do. It does require more work. And usually you have to get kind of agreements with a bunch of different suppliers in order to have enough items to sell. If you're doing retail dropshipping, it's a lot easier to get started. You can use software with it that doesn't really exist with wholesale. And that software can really automate a lot of the dropshipping business for you. Everything from listing items to changing prices on eBay and stock levels on eBay if they change on the retailer's website, even auto ordering items as well. So there's a lot of automation with it. And it's just easier to kind of get started and to scale with it. So those are the two categories. Most people start with retail because it is the simplest and most straightforward. And usually the simplest one to start with is Walmart or Amazon, but even Walmart I think is simpler than Amazon at this point. What is up, Mike? Thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. Mike says, do you know of any other repricers besides SKUGrid and AutoDS? Have suppliers that are not supported. Wow. So there are a lot of repricers out there. SKUGrid has been around probably like one of the longest, the oldest ones. They work with a lot of suppliers. It's not the most user-friendly. I really like AutoDS. I think it's very user-friendly, very great, interface to work with. So if you have suppliers that aren't supported by either of those, you're probably not going to find them on another repricer either. SKUGrid pretty much works with every supplier. They work with a lot. So if it doesn't work with SKUGrid, it's probably not going to be working with another repricer, to be honest. Hey, what is up, Steve? Steve's in the house. So Steve's my good buddy. You probably all know who Steve is, but his channel, Rake and Profit, he talks a lot about different ways to make money on eBay and Amazon and Facebook Marketplace. He's been going so hard lately with flipping items from eBay onto Amazon FBA and has absolutely been crushing it with that. I've been following his journey. I've been doing it too. He's taught me how to do it, and I've been getting money. I've been making profit with it as well. So definitely check out some of his videos about eBay to Amazon dropshipping. It's a really cool, game-changing system. If you've been looking to do Amazon FBA and you are kind of overwhelmed with the whole process like I was, Steve found a really simple system to get into it. So definitely check out his videos. What's up, Susan? And actually, I've made some videos about this as well. So I've made some videos talking about the experience I've had with eBay to Amazon dropshipping. I just released a video 2 days ago about it. So if you're interested, check out that video, and I'll be making some more in the future as well. Steven says, do you have any videos explaining how to use your Chrome extension, considering getting it for my business? Yes, Steven, I do. It's here on YouTube somewhere, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure what the name of the video is, but the Chrome extension I made with my team allows us to quickly and easily list items for sale on Facebook Marketplace. This didn't exist before. So what it will do is you can go into Walmart, find an item you want to list, click one button on the Chrome extension, and then it will copy everything like the photos, the title, description, and paste it into a blank brand new listing on Facebook Marketplace. And it will increase the price as well. So instead of manually copying and pasting everything over yourself, one click and it's all done for you. Saves you a ton of time. It can also do that onto Amazon as well. It's very easy to use. So if you know, there's a video somewhere. I just don't know exactly where it is, to be honest, or what the name of it is. Lots of love in the chat. Appreciate it, guys. Is there any way to open multiple Amazon accounts? So there are ways to open multiple Amazon stores, but generally Amazon in the beginning only wants you to have one. You have to have a reason to open a second one. So open up one account, use that one, and if you have a reason to open another one in the future, you can call Amazon and talk to them about it and get approved to open a second Amazon account. They are allowed, but they're not as common. They're not that common, I should say. What's up? We always do free shipping, if that's what you mean, for eBay items. Hey, Irene, welcome to the Titans tribe. Congrats on getting started. Congrats on starting the course. Great tip from Susan. Susan says, if anyone has issues with tracking numbers, use TrackTaco. You get a certain amount, like you can do a package of 100 for about $25. I think it's worth it. It saved me so many times on eBay. Susan, great advice. Let me explain this a little bit more for people who might not understand why you would need these tracking numbers. There's a few situations where you need to actually generate these tracking numbers like TrackTaco does for you. One, if you're using Amazon as a supplier, Amazon a lot of times ship through their own logistics company. You see those blue vans driving around that say Amazon on it? That's not UPS, that's not FedEx, not USPS, that's Amazon Logistics. They have their own unique tracking number, a tracking number that's not able to be uploaded into eBay, not really. So you don't want to upload those tracking numbers into eBay. So what do you do when you get one of those tracking numbers? Well, you can use TrackTaco to generate a valid tracking number instead. Also with Walmart. Walmart a lot of times will deliver items with DoorDash. That way customers get the items faster because a DoorDash delivery person will go to a local Walmart store, pick up that item, and drop it off on the customer's doorstep. It's faster than having UPS deliver the item from a Walmart warehouse. So with that, there's no tracking number at all. So again, you can use TrackTaco to generate one. Another situation where it can happen is sometimes suppliers just like don't give you tracking numbers, even though it has been delivered with like UPS or something like that. Or there might be a delay in getting them. So that's when you might want to use a service like TrackTaco to get those tracking numbers generated. Kind of fill in those gaps. Jericho says, I was watching a video with a guy talking about how eBay dropshipping is dead and that the only way to make true profit is eBay wholesale. Does it hold any valid truth? It doesn't. So I've made a bunch of videos about this actually on my Reels, is that what they're called? The YouTube Shorts rather. And you could also see these on Instagram. So you know like those short videos they have here on YouTube, the shorts, hence why they're called shorts. Watch some of my shorts. I think the one I just released like recently it's called like, is eBay dropshipping dead? And in that, I prove that eBay dropshipping is not dead. You can see clear evidence of this. You know, we look at people's stores that are doing retail dropshipping, and you can see that they are making sales with this. They are making a lot of sales with this. So check those out because that answers that question. Wholesale dropshipping, though, I think is really underrated. I think a lot of people just push it to the side, don't think about it because it is a little bit more difficult. Well, it's definitely more difficult to get started with. There's more steps involved. There's more of a process to get started with wholesale dropshipping. If you're willing to do that work, if you're willing to get your hands dirty and actually work with wholesale suppliers, get all your paperwork in, find good ones, it can really pay off. If you find even just one good wholesale supplier, you're going to see they have some great items that are doing really well for you. Sometimes it might even be just like one, two, or three of their items are doing really well for you on eBay. And because other people aren't willing to do that work, then the competition for you is going to be very low, which means your profit's going to be really high on that. It can make the world of difference if you just find that one good supplier with just those few good items. So that is something that I think a lot of people don't realize about wholesale dropshipping. And for those of you wondering, my eBay course teaches you how to do both. It'll teach you how to dropship onto eBay with retail dropshipping, and you learn how to do wholesale dropshipping as well. So you can do both, or you can choose which one you want to do. Let's see. Christy says, I dropshipped last week, got 23 orders, then Sam's Club started charging me shipping. How do you avoid things like this? Because it seems like Amazon, Walmart, Sam's, etc. will shut your accounts down. Let's unpack that. So we'll start with this. Amazon, Walmart, and Sam's Club will not shut down your accounts for dropshipping. What they do is Amazon, if you use Amazon Prime for dropshipping, they will shut down your Prime account. So if you want to dropship from Amazon, just don't use Amazon Prime. Use regular Amazon. There are plenty of items on Amazon that still get free shipping even if you don't have Prime. And that's how people are dropshipping from Amazon. With Walmart, same thing. Walmart has their Walmart Plus program. Don't use Walmart Plus for dropshipping. Walmart will shut down your Walmart Plus account. But you can still use regular Walmart for dropshipping. And there are plenty of items on Walmart that still get free shipping even without the Plus program. And Sam's Club. Sam's Club is a tricky one because of this issue. If you ship to too many addresses per month, Sam's Club will start charging you shipping for new addresses that you ship to. I admittedly don't have a lot of experience drop shipping from Sam's Club. I've never tried to find a way around this, although I know there probably is a way around it because I see people drop shipping from Sam's Club. But One of the things that I think is really important when it comes to your dropshipping business is you want to get really good and focus really deeply when it comes to retail dropshipping on one, maybe two different suppliers. You want to get very good at working with them, understanding how they work, understanding how to make the most money with them, and everything involved with it. So for me, that's Walmart and Home Depot. And now we're doing some more Amazon as well. But really for a while, it was just one. It was just Home Depot. For a couple of years, like that's all I was doing was drop shipping from Home Depot. I think that's a really important thing to do. So I don't have a ton of experience with Sam's Club, but if you really put in the time and effort and you talk to people, I think you'll find a way around that. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it involves creating multiple accounts. What's a good way to get your click-through rate up? So the click-through rate is basically saying, okay, your items are showing up in the search results, but how many times are people actually clicking on those items and looking at them compared to how many times they actually see it in the results? I don't really focus too much on metrics like that. For me, the most important metric is always how much profit are we making? Like that one thing is all that matters. How much profit are we making? Yes, a lot of the other metrics will affect the bottom line profit, but that is really all I focus on. So things like click-through rate don't matter to me so much. I'm just interested in making sales. But like I said, with things like click-through rate, they do lead to more sales, right? But I don't get caught up in the numbers. So how do you increase your click-through rate? In other words, when someone searches for an item, a bunch of items show up in the search results. One of them is yours. How do you get people to actually click on it now? A few things. It's the basic stuff. You want your main image to be a great main image. You don't have to use the default one given by the supplier. A lot of times you want to choose a different one so you stand out. Another thing, make sure you have a great title and make sure you have a competitive price as well. Do all those things, then when people see it, they'll actually click on it and then hopefully purchase it. Okay, let's see. Oh, shoot. Just lost my place. I just made the screen bigger and I lost my place. Yeah, we talked about this. Is there money to be made with dropshipping, eBay dropshipping? Yes. Talked about that. Thanks, Robert. Please smash that thumbs up button, that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, we're like less than 3,000 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers. That is my goal for next year. So let's make that happen. If you guys are here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. All right. All right. Let's talk about this, Tim. Tim says, can you elaborate on Amazon FBA using online arbitrage? I know you reference your friend's course, but I'd like some more info on the basics of FBA and if you're shipping them from eBay to FBA. FBA before the client purchase just seems a bit risky. If it doesn't sell, you're sitting on a lot of inventory. Even with the elite product research, it's still risky. These are great questions. I think, Tim, I am definitely going to make another video. Like I said, this past Sunday, so like 2 days ago, I made a video kind of going over my sales with Amazon FBA over the past month. And I got a lot of questions on that video. A lot of people really interested in it, want to learn more about it. These are great questions, Tim. I screenshotted them. I'll make sure I include those in the next video. Let me see if I can answer this without kind of my usual visual aids that I like to have in my videos. Let's see. So the way FBA works with this system is we're going onto eBay and we're looking for items on eBay that are underpriced compared to Amazon. If we find these items, and we use software and techniques, and we look for different criteria. We're comparing the listing on eBay with a listing on Amazon, comparing the two of them. We're looking at all sorts of data, like how quickly this item is going to sell on Amazon. What can we sell it for? And what price is it on eBay? Looking at those two numbers, how much profit is in there? What is the ROI? How much profit dollar amount are we going to make, right? We're looking at all of that and deciding if it's going to be a good buy. If it's a good buy, we order the item, it comes to my house. I take all the items I purchased. A lot of them are DVDs right now. Purchased all the DVDs I purchased, put them into a big box that I then ship to Amazon with these barcodes that I print from Amazon. Then Amazon gets them, they scan them into their system. Now people can buy them. And if they buy them, Amazon will take that DVD off the shelf, ship it to the customer, and I don't have to do anything at all. It's all hands off from there. Even returns, they'll go back into the inventory as well. So the concern here, and this has always been my concern with FBA, which is one of the reasons I've kind of stuck to drop shipping, is what if we purchased like 30 DVDs and they don't sell? Now we have 30 DVDs, they're sitting in Amazon's warehouse. Maybe we spend, let's say even if, you spend $10 on 30 DVDs, what is that, like $300, right? If you spend twice that, then you spend $600. If they were like $20 a DVD, you have like $600 of inventory sitting there and it's not selling. That's kind of the fear with FBA. Now, the good news is that I have found that if I'm doing my product research right, and as I've gotten better at FBA product research, I've seen this, the data doesn't lie. You can look at all the information about how well these items are selling at what price point, and you know if it's going to sell and when it's probably going to sell. The data just doesn't lie about it. So that's the good news about it. If you do product research right, the item should sell. And if it's not selling, you can lower the price. We actually have software that will change the price to be competitive enough to sell while still maximizing profit. But you could lower your price and just kind of get rid of that inventory. One of the things I always make sure of is that, hey, if I buy this DVD and worst case scenario, it's not selling, how much can I lower the price by and still break even? So I make sure that there's enough wiggle room in there so I could at least break even on the purchase and then get my money back and use that for the purchase of something that will actually make me money. So like I said, I'll get into a much more like in-depth answer about that in a future video, but I hope that kind of answered your question for now. All right. Marep says, this is my first week doing drop shipping on eBay. I got 29 sales. I have 76 items listed. Thanks to you for everything. Oh, thanks to you for everything you'll be doing. Appreciate you. Thanks for letting me know. Those are awesome numbers. So keep it up. You're definitely having momentum. So make sure you keep that momentum going. Keep listing items. You're doing great so far. What is up, man? Thanks for being here. Mike says, I was pretty successful dropshipper over a year ago. I stopped to do something new. What, if any, changes have there been with this business model in that time frame? I was using mostly Walmart. So there have been like a couple of things you might want to consider, Mike. I really encourage you to come to the training I'm doing tomorrow at, what time is it again? 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Or at least watch the replay. You do have to register to get all that information. The registration link is in the description of this video, the first link, because I'll be talking about what's working in 2023. We've definitely changed the way we use software for our eBay dropshipping business. We've changed the way we work with like Amazon. So you definitely want to kind of get that latest information. That's probably the best source to get everything in one place. Smash that like button. I met several Facebook accounts. One of the accounts I cannot get shipping. It's been 4 months. Do you know any workarounds? You can try contacting their support, but if you start a new Facebook account, you probably won't get the shipping option for a while. You want to use older accounts for Facebook Marketplace so that you get the shipping option. Sorry about that. The only workaround really is to have the payment come off of Facebook, which we talked about kind of the pros and cons of that before. Thanks, Mike. Mike says, I learned everything from Paul's course and would definitely recommend. Appreciate you, man. Crypto YM says, we live in the UK. Do we need to open an account on eBay US or is the eBay UK account enough? Thanks. So the best marketplace to be selling on is ebay.com, which is the US eBay. eBay UK sellers have a distinct advantage where when you set up an eBay UK account, you can sell on eBay UK and you can also sell on ebay.com. So you only need the eBay UK account. Same thing for Canada as well. So you kind of have an advantage there. There's no 90-day period with eBay. They're always going to hold your funds. How much would you say would be a great start amount for eBay dropshipping in the beginning while waiting for the 90-day period? Yeah, there's no 90-day period anymore. They hold everyone's funds to make sure that the items are shipped out. Actually, once they're shipped out and delivered, they release the money to you. So what you really need, man, is a credit card. A good cashback credit card, you'll be able to fulfill those orders. And then once the money is released to you, you can then use that money to pay off the credit card, keep the rest as profit. I don't mess with digital products, so I can't help you there. I would not, I don't know anything about digital products, drop shipping them or selling them. When do you recommend shutting down for Christmas shipping on time? A week before New Year's Eve. I think a week before New Year's Eve, you can either shut down your store completely and just get those last orders out, or raise your prices so that people stop buying from you, or mark all your items as out of stock. I wouldn't turn on vacation mode though, because that will just, people have had problems with vacation mode on eBay. What people see is that when they turn vacation mode on their store, then when they come back from vacation and reactivate their store, so to speak, their sales just kind of trickle in. They're not the way they used to be. Everyone complains about it. eBay denies there's anything wrong with vacation mode, but clearly there is. So just raise your prices or lower your stock to zero, and then you can kind of not get any sales that way. You want to use that week, though, to make sure your suppliers are shipping out all the items. If any customers complain or customers send you messages, make sure you're still responding to them. Make sure you're still uploading tracking numbers and all of that. Kind of give you a week before Christmas as a buffer. No. MMA Hub says, is there any automation service for eBay or Facebook that you could recommend? No. Man, these automation services have gotten out of control. I've been saying kind of for years that you should be really careful with these automation services. These automation services, what they do is they promise you, hey, if you pay me $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, I'm going to set up for you a fully automated, usually Amazon business, sometimes Shopify, sometimes eBay, sometimes Facebook Marketplace, but it's all the same. Let me, I'm not even going to give my, I've talked about this before. I've always said, be wary about this. Be wary about this. I've been saying this for a long time. And a couple of things happened recently that really just kind of proved that, unfortunately, I was correct. So, Let me see if I can find this. I'm not going to give opinions here. I'm just going to show you what facts are. So the facts are, here's one of those services. The FTC takes action to stop DK Automation from pitching phony Amazon and crypto money-making schemes. So this was a really big Amazon automation service. I think they might have also done crypto or something, and they're getting in trouble with the FTC. They're being fined $2.6 million, possibly much more. So that's one of them. And the other one I'll show you is this one. Well, I can't find it. But there's another big company that did this as well. And that company just filed for bankruptcy. So they took in something like $30 to $50 million in investors' money from people looking to do the automation service. And they just filed for bankruptcy. And they pretty much delivered nothing. So no one got a store that was successful, or almost no one, I should say. Again, I'm just trying to be as factual as possible here. So it's not my opinion. This is like what the facts are. And yeah, it's very unfortunate. People have paid like $30,000 to these companies, and most of them did not get stores of any kind. Like zero work was done on the stores. And now this company just filed for bankruptcy. So pretty crazy. I would just stay away from the automation services. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. All right. Emilio says, hey man, I started my first dropshipping website yesterday. Unfortunately, Emilio, I don't do dropshipping on Shopify, which is when you build your own website and dropship on there. So I can't really help you there, to be honest. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future. You guys let me know if that's something you want me to explore. Shopify dropshipping, if you'd be interested in that. But as of right now, I have not put any real effort into doing Shopify, so can't really talk about it. Okay, Robert Stevens says, when buying on eBay, CNET Shopping or Capital One shows you where you can get, where to get the item cheaper. That's good for us, so we know where to get cheaper. Then we have to make our price on eBay even cheaper. Not exactly, Robert. That's a good observation. So what Robert's talking about here is there are Chrome extensions. The one I use is called CNET Shopping. And that Chrome extension, when you're shopping on websites like Amazon, Walmart, these different places, and you're looking at an item, the Chrome extension will pop up and say, hey, you can actually get this item for cheaper on another website. The way we use this primarily is when we are fulfilling orders. So if we're going on Walmart, for instance, to buy an item that someone bought for us on Facebook Marketplace, a pop-up might show on the Chrome extension that says, hey, you can actually buy this on Amazon for cheaper. Or we buy it on eBay for cheaper, and we'll go buy that same item for cheaper. What we don't do then is lower our prices, because someone has already purchased it at that higher price. We don't need to lower our price. That proves to us that that price works. We're just using that Chrome extension to make more profit than we expected. So that's the way we use it. There's no rule of thumb for markups. It changes based on so many circumstances. So what website you're selling on, what your supplier is, whether you're tax exempt, if you're not tax exempt, what state you live in, all these different things, whether you have a store subscription, whether you don't. I break this down for my students in the course, but there's really no rule of thumb otherwise. George says, I got my first negative feedback. The buyer says he ordered from eBay and received from Amazon. Just that. You can contact eBay and see if they'll remove it. If they ask, just say you shipped it in an Amazon box that you had lying around. A lot of times they'll remove it just because it says Amazon. They don't want the word Amazon on their website. So you could try it. Where's the water bottle visual aid? I always use this water bottle as a visual aid. I thought I would have this nice white mug though, because that way I don't have to unscrew it every time I want to drink water from it. Okay, one last question from MMA. It might be one of my last questions. I gotta save my voice for tomorrow. With Facebook Marketplace, I believe you need to use their label. Is that true, or can you ship with your own label? You can ship with your own label, as long as you upload a tracking number. So for dropshipping, all we're doing is buying the item from our supplier. They provide the tracking number. They provide the shipping label, and they give us a tracking number that we can then upload to Facebook. All right. So last reminder that we are hosting that free live training tomorrow. Make sure to come. Make sure to register for it. It's a link down below. Hey, guys, it's free. We can hang out. I'll give away some prizes. We'll have a good time. I'll teach you guys what works for eBay dropshipping in 2023. So do make sure you're there. You have to be there live to win the prizes. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the link to register. The link to register for is the first link down below. I'll see you guys there. I'm gonna cut it off here today. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the questions, and I'll see you guys tomorrow during the training. Bye for now.